Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's good to see you guys again. Hope you guys are well. Some of you guys might be known as casual Power Ranger fans, or maybe people who have just grown up with the show and eventually just dropped out. And suddenly, you guys just found out that there's going to be a reunion episode or reunion movie, which is the Power Rangers Netflix special, Once and Always. And maybe you guys want to watch it and, get caught up. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? Zordon and Alpha recruited 5 teenagers of attitude to combat Rita Repulsa, a witch that he imprisoned millions of years ago, who suddenly had escaped from her prison to conquer Earth. These 5 teenagers with attitude from different backgrounds, different races and ethnicities came together to form the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to protect Earth. They are comprised of Billy, Zach, Trini, Jason, and Kimberly, who went on to fight the forces of evil until they came across Tommy Oliver, a new student who was brainwashed by Rita Repulsa to be an evil Green Ranger. This is what you've seen in probably the mid-season of Power Rangers Season 1 till the end, where eventually Tommy becomes good, joins the team, and this was the core cast of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1. This is probably the cast that you guys have a lot of nostalgia for, the OG cast of Power Rangers. So eventually Tommy, has episodes where he loses his powers, gains back his powers, loses his powers, and then eventually moving on into Season 2 territory where he completely loses his powers. And this is where he transcends into the White Ranger. Speaking of Season 2 of Power Rangers, Lord Zed, one of the Power Rangers' most formidable enemies, comes over and usurps Rita Repulsa and tries to conquer Earth for himself. Eventually in Season 2, the original cast of Jason, Trini, and Zach are replaced with Aisha, Adam, and Rocky. The original trio had to go for a peace conference. So the Season 2 core cast ended up being Rocky, Adam, Aisha, Tommy, Billy, and Kimberly. Throughout this season, a lot of character development happened where Tommy started to have more intimate relationship with Kimberly. Billy, who was actually a very introverted character from Season 1, started to become more extroverted, more confident in himself, and overall he looks pretty badass. This cast ended up being Mighty Morphin the Power Rangers movie cast, and although the movie is not canon and takes place in a different timeline, that means it's not related with the mainline series, it still has a lot of nostalgia in people's hearts, and this was the cast that most people remember. Lord Zed caused the team a lot of problems, including the destruction of the original Dino Megazords. Eventually, Rita returns and kind of puts a love potion, forces him to fall in love with her, and these two team up to be a formidable force, eventually causing the destructions of their new Thunder Megazords. Yeah, they had new Megazords in every season of Power Rangers since the beginning, and this is obviously because of toy sales, but also it's cool because it doesn't get boring. After the Megazords were destroyed, moving on to Season 3, where the whole gang had to go and look for a new source of power, the Ninja Megazords and the Shogun Megazords granted by a sentient being named Ninjor. During the course of this season, Kimberly has dreams to become a gymnastic that takes place in some kind of World Olympic program, and she's encouraged to leave, but she doesn't want to abandon her duties as a Power Ranger. Lord Zed introduces a new evil person just to infiltrate their lives, and that comes in the form of none other than Catherine Hillard, who eventually becomes good and joins the Power Rangers team and takes over the role of the Pink Ranger from Kimberly. So we're ending Season 3 with this team of Catherine Hillard alongside Tommy, Rocky, Adam, Aisha, and Billy. And this completes our core cast of Mighty Morphin Season 3. Before we can cap off the final season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3, there was a small mini-series called Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, where it tells a tale where our main cast of Power Rangers are de-aged and they become younger, former versions of themselves, and they go on a quest to retrieve their lost powers. And meanwhile, the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers will defend the Earth against the threats of Lord Zed and Master Vile. Master Vile, who is none other than Rita's father. As I mentioned earlier, the Rangers went on a quest to retrieve their powers back, but they were actually after something called the Zeo Crystals. In what seems to appeared to be very poor writing, Aisha, the Yellow Ranger, is eventually replaced with Tanya, a girl from Africa. During this course of events, Rita Revolto, Rita Repulsa's brother, and Goldar sneak into the command center of Zordon and plants a bomb over there, which eventually explodes and destroys the entire command center. So, unbeknownst to most people, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ended up having a cliffhanger where the Rangers actually lost and the command center was destroyed, leading to Season 4 of Power Rangers Zeo. Under the rubble of the command center, the Rangers accumulate back the Zeo Crystals, which help build back the command center and eventually giving all of them powers, the new suits, new Megazords, and new ancient technology-themed powers of the Power Rangers Zeo. The only member to be excluded from receiving powers was none other than Billy, the Blue Ranger, who remained to be as a mentor role, kind of lab tech assistant kind of role in the season. So with new powers, eventually at the same time, a new threat looms over planet Earth, which is none other than King Mondo and his machine empire, who threatened to destroy the Earth and conquer it in replacement of Rita and Lord Zed. In terms of the Mighty Morphin team, this same team persisted from Zeo till Power Rangers Turbo. We're talking about Tommy, Aisha, Rocky, and Adam, and Kat. Tommy and Kat eventually develop a relationship, and this is also hinted in future installments and also comic books, such as the Soul of the Dragon comic book, where they eventually, spoiler alert, they eventually get married and have a kid. Billy had a lot of issues in Power Rangers Zeo. Among the major issues is that he couldn't inherit the powers of the Zeo Crystal and the Gold Ranger powers due to a negative proton energy that his body had absorbed in the command center's explosion, preventing him from taking any further powers. In this sequence of events, Jason, the former Red Ranger, took over the powers of the Gold Ranger. Billy was last seen to be suffering from accelerated aging due to a machine that tried to restore his proper age, and this side effect was the accelerated aging. To counter this, he had to travel to Akutar to the alien ranger's homeland to heal in the Eternal Falls, and opted to remain along with his girlfriend Sestria, a female Akushan who he had fallen in love with. Ever since then, we have not seen Billy at all in the whole Power Rangers franchise, so seeing him in the new Once and Always special is a really warm welcome to the heart. As we go over Power Rangers Zeo to Turbo, this is actually where the original Mighty Morphin team stops residing in the show, putting aside some other cameos that happen over the season, such as the appearance of Adam in Power Rangers in Space, and the special anniversary special in Power Rangers Operation Overdrive, the eventual very recurrent return of Tommy Oliver in future seasons as well, and as Kat Hiller does make some different appearances over the seasons as well. So like I said, some of you guys don't know this, but Power Rangers has been going on for quite a while. There have been many different seasons ever since the ending of Mighty Morphin Season 3. There's so many I could name, but primarily it's divided into the pre-Zordon era and post-Zordon era story-wise. So the Zordon era ends in Season 6, Power Rangers in Space, where eventually the battle goes up all the way to space. A lot of things happen, but what happens is Zordon dies in the end of Season 6 because the Red Space Ranger of Power Rangers in Space had to destroy the tube because the Power Rangers and the forces of good were losing the battle against the forces of evil. And when Andros, the Red Space Ranger, shatters the Zordon tube, the good energy comes out from there and purifies the entire universe as far as the light can touch Rita and Lord Zed, where they purified and became good versions of themselves. They look pretty human to me the last time that we saw them. In 2006, Power Rangers Mystic Force showed that Rita Repulsa eventually learned how to do magic again, and she became the Mystic Mother, a force of all good. She wasn't destroyed, and she still lingers in the Power Rangers universe, raising questions to how and who is Robo Rita. Perhaps is Robo Rita, like I mentioned in my previous video, is Robo Rita constructed by remnants of the Machine Empire, using dark energy from the purification process back in Season 6 of Power Rangers in Space? If you guys have caught up with all the different seasons of Power Rangers, you might catch a lot of Easter eggs, such as the Power Rangers SPD Easter egg where Adam and Aisha come back as SPA officers. What does SPA stand for? One can only wonder, but most are theorizing that this is a preliminary branch of SPD. Okay guys, I'm going to end it right here because I promised that this was going to be a small, minimalistic, casual recap. But if you guys have any questions or queries about certain things that you didn't understand or things that you missed out about the course of Power Rangers for the past 30 years until now, then please leave a comment below and I'll try to address and reply back to you. So I hope that you liked the video. Please like and subscribe if you like my content. It really helps small YouTubers like us. And I'll see you guys in the Sidsiders next time. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger.